Hi, welcome to another episode of Nerd Supernova. I am your host, Paul Michaels, and my co-host.
KJ McDermott, what's up?
Alrighty, so yeah, it's been a week, but we're trying to get a little bit on, somewhat close to things coming out and talking about them. And
Well, we like doing it like a week later because then everybody's kind of maybe seen it, so it's not as spoilerish.
okay, but yeah, we're gonna go into spoilers, I guess. I mean, that's pretty much a
Fair warning.
fair
right
warning.
Here now.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, let's get it out of the way. We both love the film pretty much, or you really liked it.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Wonder Woman.
I know, but you didn't. I don't.
Oh, okay.
You just said like, oh, like.
Yes,
fair warning,
but I assume that they're gonna look at a thing that's gonna say Wonder Woman review. Yeah.
Yeah, titles do that.
Anyway, but we both loved Wonder Woman the movie that just came out.
It was a great movie.
Okay.
It's fun to see a good DC movie.
Okay.
Well,
that's it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Goodbye. Good night, everybody. Like,
no. All right. So
water.
I'm going to be the DC guy because you know how I am. I will defend.
We're not going to do like crossplay. Like I'm going to be the DC guy. You're going to be the Marvel guy.
That's like Bizarro Land.
Weird.
Bizarro Land. Yeah. No, but I still defend Man of Steel. I still defend the ultimate cut of BVS because I'm that guy. But this is
a good movie.
It is a good movie, and
it's a lot different from the other ones, which is why I wanted a Batman solo movie with Ben Affleck before Batman
No.
Superman.
Okay, so let's just start off with that, I guess.
Right.
Here's the thing. Yes, they're not doing the formula the way Marvel's doing it. I wish they could do that formula, but that's not the case. And honestly, it's fine because I mean, you could watch this movie before Man of Steel in BVS and you'd still get pretty much the same experience.
The thing I was saying before is chronologically like what we're going to like I would love to like to have origin stories beforehand. This one I still feel like works.
Yeah,
yes,
it does.
Wonder Woman felt forced in Batman vs Superman, but this standalone movie is still really good.
It is.
As like a flashback type of a story, it still really works.
It does.
I like it.
The
way they set it up.
No.
It works. It's great.
I agree with you. What I'm trying to say is, for people who are on either side, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie at this point, I don't know what you're doing, but the point being is that...
Don't see Mummy. See...
Yeah, don't see The Mummy. God, fuck that movie. But the point being is that if you're... Say you're like a hardcore DCEU fan, and you think like, oh no, they're Marvelizing it, and it's not the fucking case. I mean, there's...
Don't worry. There's no like short skirts for like Harley Quinn. There's just... short leather skirts with like a whole entire island of Amazon.
All right, enough. But no, what I'm saying is that for me, it does not feel like a Marvelized film. I was saying to you earlier when we were talking in the car, a lot of people were comparing this movie to Captain America: The First Avenger, where he's in World War II.
What I said to you in the car is the only reason they're comparing it is because it's
of the war stuff. Yeah,
it's old war.
But what I like. And again, I love both films.
That would be like comparing like Saving Private Ryan to Wonder Woman or Captain America, because it's an old war. Although that's World War II.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the way that it's done, the way that it's shot, is that it's still very, for me anyway, who's loved the previous DC films. I mean, Suicide Squad kind of here and there, but the thing is that it's still its own movie, because if you watch, say, Captain America: First Avenger. He's in World War II, but it's very much a Marvelized or Marvel Universe version of World War II. It's a Jack Kirby World War II.
They have laser beams.
Laser beams, Red Skull. Like, it's World War II, but it's really not World War II.
They have tech that we don't have, like, now.
Exactly. But you're watching Wonder Woman, and it's pretty much World War I. It's just...
They're making a new type of poison.
Yeah, and Wonder Woman is there. That's pretty much it, but it feels like a small war film, but Wonder Woman is there, and it's entirely different type of approach. Yet both films work for me because I understand how both universes approach, the things that they do. And for me, it doesn't feel like a betrayal or anything of like what the previous DC movies are doing. Big spoiler territory here, but the whole movie pretty much comes to the point where Steve Trevor is telling her that yes, humanity sucks. Humanity is awful.
That's the point of like every superhero movie.
Yeah, in a way.
It's like humanity sucks. You need to be better than humanity.
Exactly, but you could argue that people have like made that a point with the DC films.
No, think of like
no,
Man, like Power, Great Responsibility, like Captain America. You need to be better than them. Like
I agree with
except
you.
For, like Tony Stark is kind of a douche, and Batman is a douche at times because
Yeah.
he already knows he's better than everybody. Like,
But
everybody else is like, you need to be better than them. You need to be better than them, Kal-El.
I'm
You
just
can lead them.
I'm making a point because everyone is like how downtrodden, you know, Man of Steel and BVS are, and that like the heroes can't seem to catch a
I
break.
was going cross comment.
No. I understand that. I agree with you at the same time because yes, Spider-Man definitely gets that. Captain America to a certain extent gets that. Like all of those things, but
Black
even
Panther thing was like, oh, you're better than all of them.
yeah, no. And I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that
Maybe like Romanoff.
what
Maybe she's not.
okay. But here's the thing, like they make a point right at the beginning of the movie that it's very colorful. They're very much in Themyscira. They're in a colorful landscape. But the second Man's World starts to intervene, we immediately see gray. We immediately see dark. And even when she's in like
Death.
yeah, but even when you're when she comes to Man's World, she comes to London. It's putrid and smoke, and I mean there's colors obviously, but it's not upbeat like Themyscira is. So in that sense, they're keeping things going. They're keeping
the
this.
Tim Burton London where everything's gray.
Or it's Sweeney Todd London. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. No. I'm agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing. But what I'm saying is that it's not. I don't feel it's a betrayal of anything that's come before. It's not like they're just like a fresh reboot type deal. Like this is connected to the other films, and I would even argue that even if you watch this movie now and you go back and watch, say, BVS, you catch a lot more too. Things like Luther talking about Zeus and Wonder Woman rolling her eyes. Just certain things like when she's seeing the photo for the first time, when she's looking at the stuff on the computer, she might actually be seeing the photograph for the actual first time in maybe 100 years, and now only through Wonder Woman has she been able to track down the photo with Bruce's help and get back that memory she had from before. Now it means more to us. I find it interesting. I agree with you that yes, the Marvel formula works more as far as setting up the movies and everything, but I'm kind of interested to see like this movie, this Batman v Superman, and now we're finding more about all of the heroes in between. We're finding out what Flash has been up to, what Aquaman's up to, and what Wonder Woman's up to. And
keeping it on Wonder Woman though.
Okay, no. I'm just explaining as far as connection to the DC EU. But yes, the movie by itself is pretty much a near perfect, as perfect as you could get for a Wonder Woman centric movie. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I can put it.
You already heard some of the jokes I'm gonna.
Yeah. You can do
the actual movie.
Okay.
Like, it starts off like. Great, they're on the island of women. Like Death by Snoo Stew would be awesome.
Okay.
Futurama reference.
No, I got it.
Yeah. But then like once she's having like her one moment where she's like, oh my god, like I'm so overpowered, like she's looking off and like having her one moment. Of course, that's when fucking plot development crashes through and lands. Like she's having that deep moment looking out on the cliffs, and then of course, let's propel the plot. Here comes Chris Pine and his.
I want to know if that was some intervention by the gods
and then she
or
turns
something.
into fucking Little Mermaid.
It is they actually did take inspiration from that movie.
I didn't. I just thought that was such a
no
joke, like
Disney
movie moment.
They actually.
Oh, the prince! He's like dying and he's drowning. Oh, Ariel needs to save him.
No, they
wash up on a beach and he wakes up and looks at her. He's like,
I think both one of the screenwriters and Patty Jenkins made reference that they took that as influence. I mean, the whole fish out of water, quote unquote. That you can even feel that when she's in.
Oh, look at this stuff! Isn't this neat?
All right, no, you don't. Please don't sing this whole song. I know the song. You don't need to sing.
It's like now I have a man. Yeah.
Okay, no.
Add him to my collection.
No, she's very. One of the best things about the film is they actually really do a great job between just the chemistry, just the acting, the writing, the building of their relationship.
Natural too.
Oh yeah.
Instead of a lot of the Marvel stuff, you can see it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
This one.
Well, I mean, Marvel and DC have both done forced jokes. Marvel sometimes more than you need to, like Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But this felt natural. But what I was saying is that the relationship between Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman feels real and it feels earned, which is what I liked about it. I believe them, being into each other or understanding one another or arguing, or backing one another up. I didn't find it like one had power over the other necessarily, just like more like, there really was an equality of some kind of relationship there, which is,
Yeah.
which even a lot of modern films have kind of don't do as much, or should be doing
Then
a lot
again, if
more.
I look like Chris Pine and I met a supermodel, I'm pretty sure there'd be a connection.
But they also make that joke too. They make that joke like, "Are you a example of your species?" And he's like, "I'm above average."
And then
Like,
later says like, "Yeah, I'm not." Like,
oh man, but
who would ever admit to being like below average?
well,
If
no,
you're meeting somebody for the
I would
first
say I
time,
was
If
average.
it's the first time,
I would
I'd
say
be
I
like-
was
I'd be
average
like,
myself.
Actually, I'm the peak of human evolution. What's up, baby? Like,
I think
let's get in this magic pool.
you're talking about Little Mermaid. I definitely think when she's trying on clothes in London, that felt
Yeah.
very Little Mermaid to me.
Yeah.
Especially how she just moves.
Well,
and,
she didn't comb her hair with a fork, so
I mean, she was clothes. No, I'm
Mm.
kidding. But yeah, like it's the way that the naivete is played up but played forward. It's like it could have gone
I feel
terribly,
like it also
and it didn't.
helped with her character after just leaving
The mascara.
and still being like so innocent and stuff. Before she's like the cold hard bitch that we see in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, I wouldn't say cold hard bitch. I would just say like world hardened. She's just sort of like impassive to it.
She's
Yeah.
much more mature.
Oh yeah.
We see like this movie. We see her like her quote unquote like teenage years where she's like discovering new stuff and
Yeah.
she's not really fully aware of everything. When we see her in Batman vs Superman, obviously she's had 100 years to be around man
Yeah.
to
Get used to the
get
cycles.
used to this shit.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it's her first outing where she's experiencing new stuff and she's
So-
still
So one of my
innocent. Like,
one of my biggest nitpicks with the movie, and this is a nitpick, like a huge nitpick, but as much as I love the film and I like how it ends for the most part, we get no hint really between the time of the so-called end of World War One to
and what she's been doing since then.
yeah, and I wanted more of that because I mean obviously they have to leave some stuff open for
Like, does she do
sequels.
anything for World War II?
Well, I've heard. Well, see, so this is the theory that I have because so the rumors are that they wanted the sequel to take place in contemporary America, and obviously it's assumed Cheetah will probably be the next villain because she's the second best known villain next to Ares, pretty much. But my thing is, and she makes a point. She says to Bruce Wayne in BVS, like, I walked away from a century of horrors, and we all just kind of assume because Steve Trevor dies, and of course in the movie he does. And it's like, okay, great, but you as an American,
So
as
when
any
does she
person,
fight, like Red Skull.
no. But no, there's World War II. So like, what is that? Like, Ares makes a point and says like, I'm the god of truth. I influence, but they're the ones that pulled the trigger, right?
Mhm.
But to get humanity back, like World War II happens 30 years later, so
Does Ares come back?
that's what I'm saying. Well, here's my theory. This is only my theory. They make a point in the beginning of the movie to show that Ares has killed off like most of the gods, with the exception of Zeus, who's with his last breath, makes
Kill them.
or
Owns him.
throws Ares off, makes an island for the Amazons, and gives them the God Killer, which we later find out to be is Diana, which isn't really that huge of a shock. But
Wait, she's the God Killer? Okay.
I know, man. But if you read Wonder Woman comics, you know that half the fun of them come from either the gods interacting with things or Wonder Woman having to deal with stuff because the gods have done something.
The same thing. It's my nitpick with Marvel. They keep reusing the Hulk for different things. Thor Ragnarok is coming out,
Yeah.
but there's no. Obviously, if we read the comic books, we know about Planet Hulk. We know about like the other stuff involving it. But now they're just like throwing it in there.
Well,
It's
well, they're
like-
doing. Well, they're
it's like
doing.
when you have a god who can fight a god, you need somebody else of like equal power. Now, where are they gonna go for Wonder Woman? They gotta bring somebody else back, or like another person who can actually go toe to toe.
Well, so I have a theory. I mean, Ares says that he's destroyed the gods, and Hippolyta says as much, but she's also obviously had a relationship with Zeus. But my theory is there's going to be two things. We're going to find out not all the gods are dead. We don't even know about Hades. Second, he's the god of war, Ares, and they make it a point that gods become strong whenever they're sort of.
Pretty sure I killed him in like a game before.
All right, no more God of War jokes.
Okay.
We're not. Come on, it's too easy. It's too easy, man, even for you. I feel bad, like I'm just shitting down on your jokes at this point, but
Well, that's because you already heard him before.
I have heard them before.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? But the idea is that he's the god of war, so he's brought back to life. You know, maybe by people because how people are. The idea of war. Yeah, it's always there. So maybe he'll just survive in that way. I mean, I'm saying it would make sense if he comes back because obviously we have World War II and other wars and stuff like that, and maybe Diana just gives up. Like she thinks, oh, World War II's happening. I better. And then like remember, actually, with sequel, we're actually going to find out like why she stepped away because she's like, oh, I tried to intervene again, and then I just realized that it's just going to be this repetitive cycle, and I can be there for man, but I can't keep fighting their battles for them, and I gave up, and then until Superman came along or something. I don't know. I just wanted a better idea of why or where.
A different DC god came along.
But that's the thing though too. So they could do a thing like where another god, because like even one of her other enemies is Cersei, who I can't remember if she's an actual god or if she's just like a. You remember what Cersei is? I know her from the Odyssey, but I always forget if she's just like a magical person. Because I know she turned all these men into pigs and
Anyways,
stuff.
back to the movie.
But no, I'm just saying, like hypothetically, down the line and everything. All right, well, tell me your favorite part of the movie if you have a favorite part.
The fight, what I was saying to you in the car, like the fight scenes, I liked that they were actually like choreographed fight scenes. You can obviously tell when the CGI is used, but it's fluid enough where like the fight scenes will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what I said to you too, it was like a tiny nitpick that reminded me a lot of like 300. Like the fight scenes, but then again, I saw it in 2D. I didn't see it in 3D.
I've seen it in 3D. The 3D is very good, but that being said,
fight scenes and stuff, like obviously, like there are slow mo things, where it'd be like quick punch, quick kick, then slow mo like sweep, and it just reminded me like 300.
It didn't bother me. I mean, I expected some stuff because obviously Snyder's very involved, and he was involved with not only like guiding Patty.
It wasn't as bad as 300. I'm just saying it just reminded me of it.
I mean, it didn't really, for me personally, detract from the movie.
It didn't take me out of it.
No,
okay. I still enjoyed it. I'm just saying it reminded me of it.
Well, some people have said this, and I kind of agree with them. One of the best things about the movie is that the action, while one of the more memorable things, isn't like the biggest thing that I've heard people talk about. Like, if anything, a lot of people have been talking about just how great Wonder Woman herself is, how things just like the film works as a story. Like, it's a good script, it's a well-told story. There's a real equality with them. There's not like Diana isn't weak, but at the same time neither is Steve Trevor. Like, there is an actual balance, and there really is this sort of
yes and no, because it still falls into the whole origin story trope. If you think somebody who was raised on something to like not thinking that she is what she is, but to then be thrown into a new situation,
but I'm saying
she has to learn a new way. Then like she
okay.
has to, like, witness people
I'm not talking
sacrifice.
I'm not talking about the origin story. I mean, it follows those cues very well. What I'm saying is the aspect between the male and the female aspect of the film.
I wish they didn't kiss.
I mean, I saw that happening. I mean, he is also.
I saw it happening too, but I didn't want it to.
Why?
Why? I didn't want like a whole love thing. I wanted it to be like the unspoken thing.
It's also
not.
It's also kind of
too like unspoken thing joke.
No, but like at the same time, it's kind of this. I mean, okay, look,
how much better would it have been if they didn't do it, and then while he's like saying goodbye to her, he just like looks at her and like gives her a kiss and just goes like, "I love you," and then leaves. And that one little kiss before he leaves, before he knows he's gonna die. That one little, like, he just took the opportunity to, like, and she can't even hear it. He just, like, is like, explaining himself. Just one little, quick little kiss, and then leaves. Like a farewell kiss.
I mean, it would have worked great, but at the same time, I didn't mind how it was used in the way that they did it. Here's my thing.
Did they kiss? Did they bone? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, they definitely boned, but here's the thing.
You think so?
I think they did. Here's my thing, though. It's not really.
I just used the word bone.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. But it's not really like it's not like a big deal is not really made about it. It's pretty much they're dancing, they're having a nice time. They go back to their room, and then they kiss, and then it goes outside with the light on, with everything else dark around it. We just kind of assume.
Reminds me of like Naked Gun, where like it fades to black, and then you see like the curtains bloom, and then you see like.
But what I'm saying is there wasn't like a sex scene. There wasn't like a drawn out like will they won't they. It's just literally. It's literally just kind of done and over with, and it's not. But I'm just saying, like it's not a big deal. It's like no, they obviously have a lot in common. They do like each other. We know they like each other, and then they, they do their thing, and then the next morning they got to go into the next battle, and it's like okay, great, and it's like and nothing about like hey about last night or there's no lingering dialogue about it. It's just it happened, and it's like okay, great, and then because they know as an audience at this point in time, we already know the fucking thing. Yeah. I mean, look, they even kind of do it in and I loved the first Avenger, but they even kind of
like every movie.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Some romantic. They have to add like some romantic thing.
They have to make it like
an Age of Ultron where they tried to force.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. But I'm saying is
try to throw in some fucking romantic thing.
But what I'm saying is that they took care to make them like understand one another and be friends first, and not make it like a oh I hate you or you hate me or like any of that bullshit. It was just about
each of them trying to understand each other.
Yeah, that's all it was. That's what I liked about it was that it wasn't nothing was really forced about the relationship, and it was played very well by both sides. That's what I liked about it. I agree. The version you just said beforehand about like no doing it just to kiss and then he dies.
Like, honestly, like when he was there with like the door and he was like hesitating in the door, I was hoping for him to like hesitate and like look at her and then leave the room and close the door. Like she was wanting it. Like you could tell like she was looking for him to stay and he was wanting to stay. And I felt like it would have been like so much better if he like looked at her.
Maybe
just looked down like
maybe the writers
closed the door and it would have been like that.
I know.
The wanting was there before instead of him.
But maybe like
behind him.
Do you think the writers and the director just assumed that maybe it would have meant more because they had been together, because they had shared that night together? I'm just saying hypothetically.
What it reminds me of is like the ship on the boat when they were on the boat before, and he was like explaining it all. He was like, "Oh, you don't want to like sleep next to me," and he was all being like, "Oh, well, like shouldn't marriage, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And like, "Oh, sleep next to me." Like I was imagining like another one of those scenes where he'd be like, she's like, "You want to sleep with me? You want to really sleep with me? Like, what's up? Like, hey, you're the first dick I've ever seen. You want to sleep with me? I know you do because I'm fucking hot." And he's just like, and if he just like closed the door and then like at the end he like,
and then Zap Brannigan pops out and says, "What are you, gay?" No, I'm kidding, obviously. But
when he's like talking to her, like confessing before he dies, if then that moment he kisses her before he leaves, it would have been so much more. I feel like
I can understand. I can agree with you.
Like they were both fighting it. They were both fighting it, and then that moment, like right before they're both like facing death, they're just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kiss you." I wish there was more time. Like blah blah blah. Like it would have meant more. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, for me, a lot of that same message still kind of got conveyed. Because whether they slept together or not, him saying, like, "I wish we had more time," says everything. Not only just in the fact of, like, him being alive after the war, just even when you think about who Diana is and how she lives, the fact that she's basically immortal, like anything about that is just. I think even she herself realizes more too after the fact, and the fact she still has this watch, and the fact that she was very happy to get that picture back. Like, there's a lot said there,
All right.
So I'm just saying, I think it's still conveyed either way, though I don't mind your version.
Quick side note.
Okay.
Secondary characters.
Yeah, I liked
Poison. William Stryker there.
Can we? Yeah, Ludendorff.
What is that his name?
I believe so. I don't know the history of World War One.
Stryker and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know his German.
And then the good guys who were Steve Trevor's little army that he had.
Indian,
Sammy.
Indian, and Scottish.
Yeah. Sammy, Chief, and Charlie. Yeah.
Well, I said about this in the car. Like Tom backed me up. the Scottish guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for his backstory. They gave the backstory for the other side characters, and they hinted at his that he might have had one, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is you've heard this because we just already talked about
No,
it.
I know. I'm
For
just
the podcast. I'm just like,
what I was thinking about, because what I said in defense was, I mean, and this is like devil's advocate type deal, but like basically just the point wasn't that he had a backstory. The point was that he went through shit, obviously something very bad he didn't want to talk about, and that the point is that everyone faces their own back. Like that they made a point to have a scene.
but I feel like
No,
built up a story.
No, just hear me out. They made a point to have Wonder Woman say he talks all about his shooting, but when he had the time to shoot, he didn't shoot. And the actor's like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if he shot it or not. The point is that he's just going through terrible stuff. But the main point of why this is happening, or to the audience, he's saying basically everyone has their own issues.
Yeah, but they reiterated it too when he was singing, and he's like, I haven't and
well,
they stopped dancing to him.
The point was
call attention to be like, I haven't heard him sing in like 4 years.
I said the same thing.
Because like obviously he's sad about something more than just the war.
He is.
There's something deeper going on.
But the point of the singing. The point of the singing.
They don't actually say what it is.
The singing was just.
Know what is the Scottish sniper?
I want to know, but
who needs to fan his nuts off in a fire. Like I want to know, like what that guy's backstory is, and they don't give it to you.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the sequel. They all live. Somehow, yes.
In a fucking giant fucking bomb.
But I saw it.
Crater.
But I saw it too as. Steve made a point in saying I haven't heard him sing in years, meaning that, Charlie's happy. He's actually been happy. Whereas the other 4 years he has not really been so happy. The point being was that Diana brings hope and joy to people, like liberating the village or making Charlie sing.
Hope Man's job.
Well, he wasn't around then. It was 1918.
He should have crash landed earlier.
Yeah, so my thought on Superman, and I've said this to you, and I've talked with this with other friends, is I think what's basically going to happen is that Jeff Johns probably went to Zack Snyder. He's like, look, you've been building up Superman for basically 2 movies. When he comes,
he's going to pop up at the end of
January. We know this, but when he does, he's going to be the fully formed Superman.
Thinking that fucking Green Lantern is going to pop up at the end too.
Well, the theory is the fan theory is that they're going to win the day.
Their first end credit scene. That would be an awesome end credit scene.
Well, the theory is
show up on Earth.
The theory that they've been having, because ever since they found out that Steppenwolf was going to be the main baddie, or that everyone assumed that it was just going to be Darkseid sending his, cannon fodder, I guess you could call it. Basically, Green Lantern's going to show up and be like, "Yeah, you guys did great. That was a great battle. Good news is you won. Bad news is that was like the first army."
Yeah, everybody knows of you now.
Yeah, and